Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We have a reorganization meeting, and could I ask Heather to do the roll call, please?
Carol Hillard.
Here.
Ryan LeBrecq.
Here.
Catherine Consalvo. Here. Lori Dory.
Here.
Robert Kincaid.
Here.
Sheila Lowe's.
Here.
Sue Sherman.
Here.
Brian Smith.
Here.
Karen White.
Here.
Katie Knudsen.
Here.
And Carol, could I ask you as a new member, could you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks so much. We've got a review and discussion of RSA's chapters 32, 33, and 195. Those are in your packets for you. Wanted to entertain any discussion or questions the budget committee had about those statutory pieces there.
So I want to say they are in your electronic package that was sent to you. You didn't print them in paper since it's a lot of paper, but new members, you do have a booklet with you, which do include the new RSAs. So if you have any questions when you look through them, or if you want to reach out for any clarification or anything, please feel free to do that. We're here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you.
Okay, number 5 is elections. So you can see the chair seat is vacant. At this point, I would entertain a discussion and or a motion for chair for this next cycle of the budget committee.
I'd like to motion for Brian Smith to be chair.
Okay, so there's a nomination for Brian Smith,
Second.
seconded by Mr. LeBrecq. Any other discussion from the committee? Any other considerations for chair?
I was going to nominate Sue. She is a senior member of the committee here today and brings a great deal of knowledge to the table. Personally, I think she's extremely qualified. Brian, I'm sure you're wonderful, but we didn't hear you talk at any meetings last year. I don't know how, I can't really picture how you would lead a meeting, to be perfectly frank. Does anyone else have any thoughts?
Second. I would second that nomination.
Okay, so Sue Sherman has the second from Julia. Sheila, question, discussion?
Do you not want Chair Karen?
No, I'm happy to continue as vice if you want to elect me as vice.
Usually what
but
happens is the vice chair walks into the chair because you've been vice chair.
I
That's why I'm
have,
asking.
and Sue has also been chair in the past before you were
Oh,
here.
wait,
so.
no, I'm aware because we were on school board together. She was chair. But my question is that you were vice chair, so usually the vice chair would kind of walk into the chair. That's why I'm asking, did you not want it?
I think that Sue would be an effective chair.
Okay, that answers the question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So just to recap, we have a nomination and a second for Brian and a nomination and a second for Sue. Is there any other discussion or any other folks that want to identify any other possible chair candidates? Anybody else may want to call the question? So those that would like to see Brian serve in the position of chair, could you raise your hand in the affirmative? Thank you for that. For those of you who would like to see Sue seated as a chair, could you please raise your hand in the affirmative? Heather, just checking my math. I got 5 and I've got 4. Okay. Sue, welcome as the new chair.
Thank you very much.
To the budget committee.
Give it a shot for you guys.
And if I could, I would pass the meeting on to you now. And we would ask that you sit in the chair seat over here when you're ready to make.
I'm gonna stay right here. If that's all right with everybody tonight. I'll move over to the middle later. I'm all set up here, so. Okay, so we're moving on to the organizational of nominating and electing a vice chair. Hear any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Brian Smith for vice chair.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Anyone else?
I was going to originally nominate Karen White as vice chair.
I'll second that.
I'm happy to accept that nomination.
So we have Brian and Karen. Anybody else? Hearing no others, I'll call for a vote. All of those that would vote for Brian as vice chair, raise your hand, please, so we can get an accurate count. 1, 2, 3, 4. All those in favor of Karen for vice chair, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So welcome, Karen. You are vice chair yet again. Thank you very much. Hoping we can work together, put all our energies and our past knowledge to help our newer members. I know some of you have served on committees in the past, or a town budget committee. The school budget committee operates slightly differently, but not a heck of a lot. Sheila brings a lot of strength and knowledge from her school board days to the committee as well. So we have quite a wealth of people that you can go to for information or support or questions. Are there any other elected positions that we need to do?
Other than the appointments
Yeah.
down below, no elected positions, no.
Recording secretary.
Okay,
The appointments.
so now we're down to appointments. We have a recording secretary, and Heather has continued to be our recording secretary. Are we by consensus agreeing that
I'll nominate her to be the recording secretary.
I'll second.
Thank you.
anybody else? She's here in the building, she's knowledgeable, she's done a really good job keeping all this paperwork straight. So hearing no other choices, let's affirm Heather by a vote by hand, please. All in favor of Heather? That looks unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Heather,
Very much.
very much. We have, the school district has a CIP committee. Just to run it down for all of you, each town sends a representative that the town takes care of nominating and setting up. So you have a representative from the town, and then we, as a budget committee, have some oversight, and we're allowed to send up to 2 members. So I would think you'd want to have a member and an alternate so that we have someone at those CIP meetings who can come back and report what's going on when there's Brian's helped serve on that, I've served on that. Some good stuff gets discussed through the years. Sheila,
Yes. Who was the representative last year?
is it Brian?
No, Brian is for Danville.
It's from Danville. I don't believe there was a representative from last year, Sheila.
No.
I don't know
It
why.
would have been somebody either sitting here.
Oh, it must have been
No,
Liz.
it was
It was
Liz. Liz went.
It was Liz.
Liz
Okay.
was, and then if she wasn't able to go, I would typically go.
Yeah. Liz,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. No,
We've already forgotten about Liz.
because I
Sorry,
know
Liz.
no, but I know you're already on the CIP.
I represent
Brian's already
Plastow.
on the
Oh,
CIP
He was interested.
because
Well, I
he's
did represent
Danville.
Plastow.
Are you
Yeah.
Danville right now?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So he's already, those two are already sitting on the committee.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah. So, and we shouldn't double dip. I mean,
No,
we shouldn't have
should be different people.
Brian represent the
Yeah,
budget
that's what I
committee
was gonna
and
ask you.
Danville. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So we're looking to nominate somebody else.
We're looking to get 2 reps, an alternate. I mean,
Can-
what do you say, Bob?
Are there other positions that you typically nominate and need folks for from this committee, or is that the only one?
This is pretty much it. Unless we form an extra committee, which I don't see us doing.
And then do you wanna say how often they meet, et cetera, so people know?
What nights? It's usually Monday, right?
It's usually Monday
It's
right
been
now.
Monday.
It's typically, right now, Brian, I think you guys are meeting 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
No,
4 to
it's
6.
seven-
Honestly,
7 o'clock.
Nola's the alternate. She's been kind of taking my spot, just due to my own time constraints, so.
It's during the day.
But I thought they were
It's
at
at
night.
It's been at, the ones that I went to were at night.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
No, it's not 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, it's 7 o'clock.
Oh, I would definitely do one.
I'm just gonna stop talking about CIP, because clearly, what I can share with this group,
Yeah.
it's historically in the last 4 years, been 2.3% of the budget. That's what's been allocated to that stuff. So departmentally wise, it's a larger piece of the pie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And to have a voice here, to Sue's point, to report back, to keep this group up to speed as things move forward is necessary.
is it once a month usually, or
It varies, it can be
leading up and then
Depends
just like
on-
stubbles up or
Yeah.
whatever, and
a
then?
little bit in the fall, really pushed to get it done by Christmas time. He wanted it done by Thanksgiving. We had a little push-pull, but we got it done by Thanksgiving time, early fall. So it gets squished into between now and Christmas.
I'll make a
I wouldn't
motion
be
to
opposed
nominate
either.
Ryan LeBrecq.
Okay, so Brian, are you gonna
Sure,
represent,
sure.
hang on, Brian, you are representing Danville?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm representing Plasto, I think. I have not been renominated, so it could be another person. I want Ryan to know that because he's a Plasto resident too. So Brian is suggesting, nominating Ryan. Do we have a second for that?
A second.
Carol, okay. Ryan, are you willing to do that, serve?
Yeah, and let me tell you how I'm qualified for that. So I'm a career construction manager.
Yeah,
Been involved in construction projects my entire life, so, construction
We
is my
don't pick the
thing, so-
projects, we listen for the money.
I understand that,
Okay.
and I'm a construction money guy as well, so.
This is a school board committee, not a budget committee.
What's that?
Committee, it's a school board
That's fine.
committee. We are invited guests and offer our input, but they run the show. I don't know who the
Understood.
chair will be this year, but, so, anyone else other than Ryan? Okay? Okay, by acclamation then.
I'll do
Sheila,
it.
did you have something else?
I'll do it.
Sheila will
You
do
want the
it.
two, I'll be his alternate.
Are we all set? I don't
I
see
don't need to
anybody
be there
else.
all the time.
Yeah.
I could just fill in.
Yeah, that'd be great. And Sheila, you understand the process too.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
So Ryan will be our rep. Sheila will be the alternate. So Ryan, if there's a situation you can't make, I would expect that you'd let Sheila know so she can go, so we can get a report back. Thank you, guys. Anything else under appointments that you see? Okay. All right, we've got some bylaws. I don't know where they are. Are they on the next page? Yeah, they're on the back of the agenda. This is the bylaws that we've run under for quite a few years, but you can see the amendments we made. The last time we amended the bylaws was in 2022. But you can see how it's gone along. We had a gap between 2016 and 2022, but other things were going on then. So I don't know if any of you had a chance, you new members had a chance to look these over. Did they come electronically to us? Yes.
Yeah, they were part of the package.
If you had a chance. We had to parliamentary procedures, we would adopt the bylaws, but that doesn't mean that after you've really read them and studied them at a future date, I think you have to give us 2 meetings of notice that you have an amendment. It has to be in writing, there is a rule about that, but we certainly can amend these at a future date if you wish. What's your pleasure here? Can I get a motion to adopt the
I'll make that
bylaws for this year? Aaron's making the motion to
second.
adopt. Sheila's making the second. Any other discussion, questions, concerns? All right, not a call for a vote. All those in favor of adopting the bylaws? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Opposed? Abstain?
I'm sorry, I didn't vote. I'm for it.
I'm sorry, Ryan, I can't hear you.
I didn't vote, sorry, I'm for it.
For it, so going back to 9?
Yeah.
Okay, that, I'll let you do that this time, but next time, I do like to follow kind of sort of parliamentary procedure if we can. Okay, if there's nothing else coming before this organization meeting, we're going to adjourn this meeting. I call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Sheila moves. Anybody second, please?
I'll second.
Thanks, Carol. In favor, all in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. Heather, 9-0. All right, so then we're moving into the next meeting. We'll open the next meeting, call that to order at 7:15 about, 7:15. Heather, will you call the roll?
Carol Hillard. Here. Ryan LeBrecq.
Present.
Catherine Consalvo.
Here.
Julia Doherty.
Here.
Robert Kincaid.
Here.
Sheila Lowe's.
Here.
Sue Sherman.
Here.
Ryan Smith.
Here.
Karen White.
Here.
Katie Knudsen.
Here. Okay, thank you. Approval of minutes, so there's a lot of minutes in here that we need to catch up on, starting with December 11th, 2025, and those were the minutes, that was the meeting where we had a joint meeting with the school board reps. And as you can see, Catherine was there, Sheila was there, Karen was there, Brian was there.
I was not there, but I noticed an error.
Okay, hang on. So, just to let you know,
I was there, I just wasn't there. as part of the meeting.
are you talking? What did you want? You want me to
No, I
recognize?
was there, I just wasn't there part of this committee.
You were in the audience.
Correct.
I'm just telling who was from the budget committee, so they know that they can move these minutes along.
What was the error that you noticed, Ryan?
Just a vote error, second to last page, top of the page, motion. Julie motions to reduce 2 interventionists and 2 unified arts positions, says 600 fail. And then it says in favor 3 people.
Julie Hammond, motion to reduce 2 interventionals, that's the one you're looking at?
Yeah,
And
Yes.
2 unified arts positions, seconded by Sheila Lowe's.
There it is.
You see that one, everybody?
Yes.
Do we want Heather to go and correct that?
Please.
So, we could accept the rest of the minutes, except for that part, and come back and just get that corrected. It's a simple correction. Of what that vote was. Have you got it, Heather?
I'm already done.
You already corrected it?
Yep.
What was the vote?
3-4.
3-0.
3-3-0?
Yeah, you're right, 3-3. There was only 6 of us there.
6 of you there, so 3-3, okay. Okay,
Thanks for pointing that out. With that, I will make a motion to accept the December 11th, 2025 minutes.
I'll second that.
Karen makes a motion. Catherine, was that you?
Yes.
Catherine makes a second. We set, ready to go, anything else? What I would prefer is we get the minutes on the floor first with a motion and then make any corrections. Okay, next time? Thank you. All right, all those in favor of accepting the minutes? That's,
I'm assuming we
You
abstain.
can't vote on
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
too, right?
Yeah,
I can vote because I was a member, I just wasn't here.
No, but
No, you should.
you weren't there for the meeting, right?
Right, but I can accept the minutes. I can vote to have you
Okay.
accept the minutes. So
sorry.
that's 5. We don't have any,
We still on the yays? We still figuring out the yays?
yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so it's
5 noes. We got any noes? Abstains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, those minutes are accepted. Moving on. Now we're to the 15th. 15th of December. This was a regular budget meeting.
This was the last meeting of the year for.
I believe it
the
was, yeah.
budget.
Can I get a motion to get this on the floor for discussion?
I will make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from December 15th, 2025.
Karen puts them on the floor. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Sheila. Any corrections or comments, questions? If not, I'll call for a vote. All of those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. Opposed? Abstain? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All set? All right, that's all the minutes. Correspondence, any correspondence from anybody or to us? Maria, anything?
No, we have not received any correspondence to the mailbox.
Delegates and individuals, just to let our new people know, we don't often get a lot of people come to, but we would follow the same process that the school board would follow. There's a form that they sign and we would recognize them for 3 to 5 minutes, let them make their comments, and we don't engage in the discussion, we listen, it's for our input to see how we feel about particularly something that might inform us. But it's not a back and forth, it's not a private meeting with that person from the community, but we welcome them coming and participating, watching, seeing what we're doing, being part of our business. Where am I? Administrative report, sir, what do you got?
Thank you so much. So tonight, what I'd like to do is to run through a few pieces of information about fiscal year 26 for the group, fiscal year 27. Then have a couple of notations just about announcements. I'm going to run through a little bit of what Maria is going to preview at the end of the meeting for current business for the financial package. And then I have a request of the committee when we get to the calendar piece. So fiscal 26, that's the year we're currently living in. Wanted to give this group an update about kind of where we are. As of March 19th, we had a school board meeting and reported out through our budget dashboard. It's the same dashboard you're going to see this evening, that we're still on track to meet the budget of $82.5 million in terms of total expenditures. And that is going to be as of this point at the end of February. So those numbers are at the end of February that you're viewing. Again, to remind this group and new members, at the second meeting of every school board meeting of the month, we are reporting out a budget to actual report, and we encourage this group to tune into those meetings. I'll always bring it back for you when we get into that cycle, so it's in front of you as well. But sometimes when those meetings are preceding yours, you can get it a week earlier if you need to that way. Couple of other things about fiscal 26. On February 18th, I directed my administrative team that we were going to undergo a spending freeze, and I communicated that out to the school board on March 5th. We remain in that spending freeze as of today. I'm in process of writing a letter to the commissioner. I'm going to speak specifically about that in this section with this committee this evening, and I'm going to ask for a vote of support from you. It's about RSA 3211, and what it allows the district to do is to spend unanticipated revenue that it has received throughout the year in terms of meeting some of the required expenses opposed to the district. I'll talk more about that in detail. I bring it now because it's a mechanism the district can exercise in order to meet its obligations. I'm also working with our special ed team, and there's an opportunity for us to look at unanticipated special education costs we had this year that were not anticipated. As everyone here knows, or I'm sure knows, we're going to be about $2 million over in special education costs, specifically for contracted services. That creates an emergency situation that allows us to identify students or needs that we didn't think were going to be in front of us this year, i.e. student moves in, their services increase, and we're able to maybe seek some reimbursement for costs that exceed 3.5 times the average state. So we're doing that data work now to see if we can recoup any monies that way. I'm going to be visiting the Board of Selectmen in the spring, but I've also written them directly with Maria's help. I'm really encouraged by their response rate to us. What I'm communicating to them is our cash flow situation from now into the new fiscal year. We're in very different territory than we have been the last 2 or 3 years here in the Timberlane School District. I'm not anticipating much of an unassigned fund balance this year, if anything at all. And to that end, cash flow is going to be something we're paying attention to. So I'm encouraging the Board of Selectmen to work with their town managers and ensure that they're meeting those payments according to the schedule that we've agreed to with the school district so that we can meet payroll and meet our obligations as the fiscal year closes and we bridge to the new one. Been very encouraged by that dialogue and the receipt of payments on time moving forward. I also wanted to share with the budget committee that we've got a partner in First Student. That's our transportation vendor. I've engaged with them as well. And like they did last year, they're going to forgive some unutilized transportation costs this year that we're contractually obligated to. They see this as a partnership, so that's a little savings on the expense side we're going to make this year. But specifically with regard to writing the commissioner and seeking permission to spend revenue, this is something that I need the budget committee to approve. So I'm going to suggest a motion for this group just to be able to have the text out in front of you, and then we can open it for discussion. What I'm looking for tonight is a motion to authorize the budget committee chair to approve the district application seeking permission from the New Hampshire Commissioner of Education under RSA 3211 to expend excess anticipated revenue in order to meet an over expenditure in fiscal year 26. To that end, I'm also going to bring that same motion to the school board. I also need their approval. And if both bodies approve that direction or application, I'd ask the chair and the chair of the board to sign, and I would submit that letter on behalf of Timberlane to the Commissioner of Ed. Questions, discussion about the group, because it's an action I'm looking for.
So let's get a motion on the floor, and then any questions you might have, we can ask and get some of that clarified. The motion to authorize the chair to approve.
Can you read that again?
Sure, you can read it one more
To
time.
authorize the budget committee chair to approve the district application seeking permission from the New Hampshire Commissioner of Education under RSA 3211 to expend excess anticipated revenue in order to meet an over expenditure in fiscal year 26.
Motion?
I can second. Oh, we have to say.
We have to
repeat the
say,
motion?
I'm gonna make a motion
Thanks, Catherine.
to authorize the chair.
You can say so moved as well.
Yeah, so moved then. I'll go with this. RSA 3211 and to authorize the
I
commissioner.
want to make sure
Some of
that, you
those
know,
words that he said.
that Heather gets that exactly perfect in the
So
minutes.
moved.
We'll make sure
That's
she
the
has-
important stuff, yeah, really. So Catherine's making the motion, and can I get a second? Okay, Julia's making the second. Discussion or questions for the superintendent about this?
What's the
Sheila.
number that you're anticipating?
The last time we calculated, Sheila, it was about $580,000.
580,
And that's a
As of-
number that's in flux because that revenue comes in day to day. But the last time that we looked at it was 2
The-
weeks ago.
Yeah, it was about 580. So just so you know, the sources of this revenue are tuition.
Yeah.
Revenue, Medicaid, interest from,
interest,
interest, Medicaid, tuition. We got a little bit more of catastrophic aid, but like Justin said, we're in the process of seeing if we can seek any more special aid from related to special education, so that could change as well. But basically, those are the big places where this revenue is coming from.
And the reason that you haven't seen this request before, or Timberlane hasn't seen it before, is that when there's an unassigned fund balance, that additional revenue is not spent. So we don't need authorization to spend it. It's going back and offsetting the tax rate. This year, with us threading the needle to be able to meet the voted budget, we're requesting permission to access those additional funds so that we can meet our budgetary obligations.
Is that number low, Maria?
I'm sorry?
Is that a low number?
That's what we had actually as of 2 weeks ago. That's the
Right,
actual
but-
number.
Is it a low number is what I'm asking, because if I remember correctly, last year was 3 million in unanticipated funds revenue that was on the MS, what is it, 27 we look at?
I don't think it was 3 million. I can go back and check. I don't know from the top of my head. I can go back and check. This year is not like, for example, the interest is, we're not accruing the interest that we were accruing last year because our cash
Right,
balance
because
is
we don't have
is
millions
not
sitting there.
nowhere close where it was. We're doing only like $12,000 to $14,000 a month.
Mhm.
The catastrophic aid is something that the DRA gives us when we do the MS-24, and then they base it on the preliminary numbers, but it's nothing I calculate or anything. And then when they make the payment, because we file for whatever students we have, then it came out, I think that was our.
It's not a big number though, right?
No, It was,
Not a big number, it's like $100,000
it
somewhere
was,
in there.
this year I think it was close to 200, but
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not a big number, okay.
So let me clarify this in my mind. Because of the budget cut that we experienced, I'm gonna use the word shortfall. We're experiencing the thread the needle shortfall to finish out this 26 year, budget year. And that's why you are asking to be able to go back and use that.
And also, just to clarify, these monies will be used for salaries. These are paying our
Obligations.
teachers, our contractual obligations.
The last kind of detail I'd point out is that this is not unexpected revenue that we took in.
Right.
This is unanticipated revenue in categories that we've already identified that we're going to receive revenue, like tuition. This isn't a grant that we went out and got that wasn't in the purview. That's not in that tally. These are budgetary kind of line items where we expect to get revenue, but the revenue we receive has just escalated beyond what we had estimated. Because those two different revenue portions are categorized differently and they're treated differently. And I'm only talking about those lines that we're already collecting on, not new lines or new sources that we didn't expect.
I don't think that this is just Timberlane School District that might be in this situation. I think in my reading through
I'm collaborating with a lot of
these, a lot of,
superintendents
yeah,
on this
that
level.
have a similar situation, threading the needle. Okay, yes, Ryan?
A couple of questions. One, I'm not familiar with the RSA and haven't had a chance to read it, so that's unfortunate. Two, you started the discussion with we're on track to be within budget. And then
Utilize,
we're going on to
we're on
say,
track to be on budget, utilizing these additional
This money.
revenue funds.
Did you have another question, Ryan? You said two.
no, I think it would be good to, that maybe in advance, we have a chance to, I'm not familiar with the RSA at all. So it would probably be best if we were able to review that prior to voting on things.
I think Maria is giving you the RSA.
Wasn't it in their packet that was emailed to them?
Was it in your packets? I did not read it.
We didn't print it because it was.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I didn't see
You
it.
have the booklets right there.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the agenda.
It was electronically sent to us.
That's fine, but I didn't know what it applied to, honestly, because it didn't say, it's fine, it's whatever. I'm
Okay.
just saying.
Can we move
It's not
on?
called out in the
Yeah, right.
agenda that we're gonna vote on.
Well, no, the vote is not in the agenda, but the review of the RSA's and they're in that booklet.
Yeah, this was the last week.
Okay. Thank you,
Anyway.
Maria.
Thank you very much.
Other questions or comments?
Do we have a sense of how much of this 580 we're gonna need or?
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
We're on a spending freeze, so including like paper at the classes, yeah.
Even with this,
Students
it's
are
still
getting
threading the needle.
Colored paper is because they have no white paper at the school. And they cannot buy more.
We're gonna be right there. So we need to get some help and authorization.
That would be in our best interest.
I think it would be in the school district's best interest. All right, hearing no other comments, I'm gonna call for a vote. Yes, just thinking about the whole motion. Let's call for a vote then. All in favor of the motion? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opposed? 1, 2, 3. Did I miscount? Brian was
Yeah,
one.
I think it was 6, yes, and
It was 6-3,
Just so I can, it was 6, I'm sorry.
6-3.
6-3, thank you. I can see the paper and I can see the people here, but to see you, I have to put the other glasses on. Now I see you, Brian, and I apologize.
I can help you.
Thank you, and then I have to put these back on to see what I've written. Okay, does that help you then, sir?
It does, absolutely.
Okay.
It's step one, and I'll talk to the board on April 2nd about their approval.
Let's see what happens.
I move to fiscal 27.
You can.
Appreciate that. In terms of realigning the voted 27 budget, want to remind this group that we began, at least the school district did, with a status quo budget of around 92 million. Working all the way through the budget committee and the deliberative session and all those places things can get adjusted. We ended with a total of $3,859,025.01 in terms of reductions that we needed to organize under the school board. Worked really diligently with the admin team. We've had a lot of good school board participation over the last month, thinking through how we're going to meet that voted budget. And we're considering all the recommendations that were made through the budget committee through that process. What I expect to do on April 2nd is bring an itemized budget to the school board for their review and approval. And what I anticipate seeing in that recommendation will be these items. $900,000 for the lease that is moved into fiscal 28. That was a discussion this committee had over its deliberations. $1.3 million of a reduction in capital expenses. This is a discussion this committee had through its deliberations. $200,000 of a reduction in transportation. This committee also had that through its deliberations. Beyond that, we're going to be removing about $650,000 from principal and directors accounts. These are everything from things happening in our schools, in our departments. The large bulk of that is a lot of technology pieces are going, and a lot of things in the schools are getting pushed or pulled back. I'm happy to provide more detail about that as that unfolds. What I wanted to highlight about that is that there are some items in that list that we're going to identify that can potentially go to warrant next year. For instance, in that list for technology was the intercom system over on the main campus. It's a safety issue for us. We also have heard a whole lot from voters about wanting a more individual say on some of those individual items. So a large ticket item like that, something that's 120, 200, $250,000, that's something that we're going to be talking with the board about putting out to warrant next year versus then baking it into the budget and those types of pieces. In addition for reductions, I'm going to be recommending the elimination of 13 positions to the school board on April 2nd. And lastly, I'm going to be recommending a reduction of about $50,000 in stipend money that would go to extracurricular activities in athletics, in music, and theater. And this was making an attempt to get them up in terms of competitive pay around the region. And we're going to back off on that a little bit more going into next year. Those reductions will allow us to align to the voted 27 budget. That's what I'm going to bring to the school board on April 2nd.
And two things.
Heather, Sheila.
Heather, you want to talk? Two things.
Yes.
The stipends.
Yes.
That $50,000 was going to increase the stipend amount.
It was going to go to increase the allotted stipend amount for coaches and for those doing music or theater.
Right, but it is not removing the stipends
No.
totally.
No.
Nope.
That-
This
I
has
just want to
no
clear that up.
good point, Sheila. No student impact. Every sport that ran this year and every music or
Okay.
theater club will continue to run next year.
That was the first thing I wanted to clear up.
Yep, go ahead.
Second thing is I would really appreciate, and I don't know about the rest of the board members, especially the ones from last year, if once that all goes through the school board, is that you send us an email
Sure.
with what was approved and what actually, because I'd like to see
I can do that.
comparison to what we were looking at and what's actually happened. I think we need that.
That's great. I intend to do that because what I really am interested to share with you is the reductions from the principals and directors. That total $650,000. Those reductions were not considered through the budget committee.
Right,
So
Thought we took one.
I don't think so. An administrator?
Oh,
You mean a
not-
position? Yes.
this is their accounts that they would be able to use, right?
And I want to give you the itemized, the
Yeah,
list. of
I would like to know
100%.
We all know we can put out a number and we can make recommendations.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the school board's gonna make, the administration of the school board's gonna make the final decision.
That's correct.
And
So,
we'll reflect that back to you so you can see it.
thank you.
I agree with Sheila. It helps us be better informed so let's use technology as as we go into listening to technology needs, where did we have to back off, where we have to juggle that yo-yo effect and get everybody kind of in place again. So that's very helpful for us. 13 positions, are the 13 positions all over the place? Are they?
They represent membership from the TTA, the TSSU, TAM, the TAU.
And of those positions, those are filled positions, not just open
Current
positions.
positions?
I'd rather not report that
Not
out
really
tonight. I'd
sure.
rather report that out at the board meeting. I need an opportunity this week to speak to individual
Okay.
people still.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would appreciate if, when it's all said and done,
We'll
if
give you those
if you could
metrics.
say person, like, so that we know if it was an open position or a filled position,
100%.
just so that we have an understanding.
Brian,
So all I'm simply doing here is reiterating what Sheila said. I had specifically suggested the notion of reducing the intercom system. There was no appetite for that, for safety reasons, for grant reasons. So I would like to understand what the offset was. What did we gain by taking that out? Since, it didn't seem to have the support here in the budget committee.
Good point. I can quickly reflect back the fact, right? Does anyone here recall the number of positions that were identified by the budget committee for reduction? 25. 25 is the number that came out of the budget committee. Right now, we're at 13. There's your delta, Brian.
Part of it, I assume.
A large, well,
large.
that's the delta.
Ryan,
What's the value of the 13 positions?
I don't have that information in front, well, do I?
Quality education.
you want the number value or the,
The number, right?
he wants the number value.
Before we got to the 50,000 and the positions, I, in my head, had like 3,050,000.
There really wasn't one. There wasn't a value put out.
He didn't give us a value.
Well, he said we needed to reduce 3.9, right?
Right,
3.859, 025, 01.
I heard, I might be wrong, but my math in my head before we hit positions was 3,050. So that would leave around $800,000 for these 13 positions.
Yeah, we're gonna give you the exact number here in a second.
Is $831,000.
831.
831,407. Plus the 39,572 for stipends, which is also personnel.
Does that include both salaries and benefits and
Yes.
everything
Yes.
all in, health insurance?
So adding actually the stipends, because that is personnel as well, that comes up to $870,979.
Okay,
And I just wanna follow up too with the $50,000 stipend being taken away from extracurricular and athletics. It's not impacting students, but if they can't find teachers or staff to fill those positions because the cost isn't competitive with our surrounding areas, then it will impact. So, just
And we'll monitor that.
yeah, just a note.
But that was not a recommendation from this committee.
No,
did
but,
not come from the budget
no,
committee.
I'm just making a note
No,
that
that's
it-
a good point. Yep, you've been a coach here or
Mhm.
play
You can
director.
volunteer.
Yeah, and you've been doing it and he was hoping to be able to, well, everybody was hoping and
Yeah.
we gotta find a place someplace. Something else, Mr.
A
Superintendent.
couple of other just short things. I am gonna be scheduling time at each Board of Selectmen meeting in each of the towns in April and May, and maybe the last one in June. When I get those meetings set up and scheduled, I'm gonna let this team know that schedule. As a member of your town, if you wanted to join me at that meeting or be present, you'd certainly be welcome. I'm gonna recap fiscal 26 and 27. I'm also gonna be bringing a student and or a family with me to present to the Board of Selectmen. If a member of the Budget Committee to want to attend, to have a part of that agenda or a piece, please get a hold of me, partner with me, and we will coordinate that schedule with you. Lastly, Maria's going to go through a financial package when we get to the bottom of the current business agenda. We've put these things together for you to give everyone the same starting point and to highly encourage a review of those documents so that it can spawn questions that you have, so you can reach to us over the summer months to spend time learning about those questions so that when we regroup in September, you've got more knowledge than you do now, and that will encourage what we're hoping for is really robust dialogue on this group here. So I really hope that happens. And lastly, when we get to the calendar piece at the bottom of current business, I would just like an opportunity to propose potentially some different ideas of how to go through the budget process this year. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on to number 7, anybody from the budget committee have any report? Anybody is, except get elected, which is great. That you need to let us know about? If not, I'm gonna go on to the school board.
Just reiterating, what Superintendent Kruger said, a bunch of the board members have been meeting with him and Maria to get in line with what the voters have voted on for our budget. Also to piggybacking, we've been talking about deliberative session. I know the last 2 years, it's been very big turnouts. So at our next board meeting, we're gonna be having discussion about what that next process is gonna look like. I know there's been some things that's been thrown about of maybe changing the day, changing the time. So that next meeting will be really like the next steps. One thing that we're hoping to see is that our board members go to our board of selectmen as a starting point, and then figuring out ways possibly to poll to get a good representation of what the 4 towns really want to do so we can make that process better. And then this is going to be my last meeting. Marion Springer will be the next board member who will be taking over next meeting. So that's it. I'll have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate, for your work with us the last year or so. Keep the school board going.
I'll try.
Okay, moving on to number 8, new business, review the election results. There should be some information in your packets or on the
Yes, so
table.
in this package, on the agenda package, you have these 2 cover pages, which are the election results for all the warrant articles. Per town.
Again, if you haven't had a chance to look at that, then,
I noticed something
yes,
about that it was only I believe a 260% difference about kindergarten, shows stronger interest than ever on full day kindergarten for all. So I hope that it's something that's back on the ballot next year.
What was the number you just?
260 people.
Unfortunately, it's a supermajority vote.
Yeah, but it's getting close, stronger than ever, as I said. It didn't, right?
There's a one comment and it's minor, but, and I noticed it on my swear-in too. My last name, the B is not capitalized, just so you're aware.
Julia's last name is spelled completely wrong on multiple things as well. If we're doing spelling, fixing.
You don't need to fix anything. For me.
Got it on my name tag.
get your spelling fixed, yes. Okay. Next thing is budget to actuals.
Okay, so when you turn to your big paper packages, again, the first page that is here is the voting result trend report. That is only for the budget piece of the voting. And it's just a trend report that shows you where per town throughout the years where the votes have been per town. So it's a piece of information, like Mr. Krieger said, all these pages are a piece of information that you can review, and if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to either me or Mr. Krieger, and we will be happy to meet with you or discuss any questions you have. On the second page of that, you see the dashboard. This is the dashboard that we present to the school board on a monthly basis. It presents the the situation of the district every month. When we start at the top left, that graph compares both revenue and expenses compared to the prior year. So as you see, the prior year, as of February, we have received $52.7 million in revenue. This year, we are at 47.4. Last year, we had spent 48.1 million. This year, we have spent 49.7 as of February. So we are very close in expenses as we were last year, but as you can see, the revenue is a lot less. The two graphs to the right of that one is the same information, it just displays it by month. So it's comparing last year to this year by month. on the middle row, on the second row, we compare to budget. So in revenue, we have a budget of 71.8 million, and this includes both the apportionment for all of the towns, the adequacy aid, and all the other revenue that comes from other sources, tuition, catastrophic aid, all those revenues. So all that is 71.8 million. As of today, we have received 47.4 of that, which is 66%. And then on the expense side, we have a budget of 83.5 million, and we have spent 47.9%, which is 57% of the budget. The other two graphs, the first one displays the sources of the revenue that we have received, which is 2.2% of the revenue that we have received has come from local sources. 15.4% has come from federal and state, and then 82.5% has come from taxpayers. The last graph on that row shows the portions of expenses that we have incurred. 26.3% has been operating, 29.3% has been benefits, and 44.4% has been salaries. At the bottom, we have the monthly actuals compared to the projection and the actuals so far for the year. So as you see, as of the month of February, we have actuals for 2026, and then March, April, May, and June are a projection. Getting to the 82.5 million that we are projecting for this fiscal year. As of February 2026, we have 3,197 students, we have 593 employees, and 67 contractors for special education.
Great, okay on this?
Is there a chart that shows state and federal revenue over time? How that's changed over the years?
Yes, it's in this package, it's coming. If you don't have any other questions, if we move to the next page, we have the cash flow report, which is also presented to the school board on the second meeting of the month, every month. This is only cash flow, it's not revenue, it's cash flow. So it indicates the beginning cash balance at the beginning of the month and then the end cash balance at the end of the month. So up top are all the deposits, and at the bottom are the disbursements. So we started the month of February with 7.76 million, and we ended the month with 9.822 million. If we move to the next page, which is this one with the graph. This is the total expense and budget trend report. So up top, you have the actual expenses for the last 9 years. At the top, you have salaries, then you have benefits, then you have salary and benefits together. And then you have the year-over-year increase for each of the categories. At the bottom, next we have operating expenses and then the total expenses for each of the 9 years and the increase or the annual increase or decrease. The next chart shows the budget for all those 9 years. And at the bottom of that, we have the actual expenses as a percent of budget. So as you can see there, the average is about 95%. So that means every year we spend about 95% of what is budgeted. That is a very good indicator. Before I came to work for the school district, I worked in corporate for 25 years. I have never seen a corporation that I work for that utilizes 95% of what is budgeted. So that is a very precise budgeting, a very precise budgeting for a $90 million company. So I just wanted to point that out. In the last 9 years, the total expenses have increased by 28%. In the last 9 years, the budget has increased 31%. Again, a very close ratio. In the last 9 years, the average expenses as a percent of budget has been 95%. And at the bottom, we have the same information, just wrapped in a graph for those who prefer the visual. In the back of that sheet, you have that same information of the actual expenses for the last 9 years by account. So you have the line item detail of those expenses for the last 9 years. Again, divided by salaries, benefits, and operating expenses. As you can note, about 73% of our budget is salaries and benefits for our employees.
I think, as you can see, Maria's trying to show you this information in many different formats so that perhaps as you digest some of this, you can find the information and answer some of your questions. Whether you're a graph person or a pie graph person or a chart person, there are numerous ways to look at this information. And remember where we can look at the operating budget. That's a small portion. I know it's a long list, but it's a small portion of the entire budget.
About 25%.
As compared to the other 75. Okay, sorry, Maria, just wanted to point that out.
Thank you for the
that.
If we go to the next page, which is this one. Here we have the tax information by town trend report. This has a lot of information, but again, it's like a summary to show you all the different components. At the top, we have the Timberlane Regional School District voted budget for the last 9 years. And then all the way to the right, you have the comparison from 2017 to 2025. So as you can see, the year-over-year increases are the next line, and from 2017 to 2025, the budget has increased 15% for the Timberlane Regional School District. The second section has the town budgets. So it has Atkinson, Danville, Plasto, and Sandown. Again, each of them displaying the increase or the decrease in the town budgets. And at the right, you see a comparison from 2017 to 2025 per town. So, for example, the town of Atkinson has increased 83%, Danville 57%, Plasto 43%, and Sandown 55%. In the next section, you have the apportionment for education for each of the towns, and the year-over-year increase for each of them. To the right, you see the comparison from 2017 to 2025. On the next portion, you see the total tax rate per town. So as you can see, the actual tax rate for each of the towns in the last 9 years has actually decreased. The next portion has the valuation with utilities for each of the towns. And as you can see, valuation for the towns have increased, in some of the towns exceeding 100% increase in the last 9 years. And then the last portion at the bottom, we have the enrollment for students per town, and at the bottom, we have the total enrollment for the district, which the total decrease from 2017 to 2025 is 12%. As I said at the beginning, and I know I'm presenting you a lot of information, it's just so you have, especially the new members, you have information that you can take a look, you can explore, and then if you have any questions, please always feel free to reach out. The next 2 pages, which are these two, this graph and this little one, which I apologize, it's so little, but it's a lot of information that I have to fit in one. if you want to look at them together, probably. So the graph indicates basically what it is what is the state adequacy aid that we receive every year. Then the gray part is what is raised from local taxes. And then the line shows what is the total apportionment each of these years. As you can see, the big portion is the the amount that comes from raised from local taxes. Then at the other page, what shows is where those how those numbers are calculated. So it starts at the top with how the adequacy aid is calculated. So we have the base adequacy. When we start with the state starts with the number of students. It has a per pupil amount that they give us for each student, and that's the total. Then we have the free and reduced, then the special education, English language learner aid, third grade reading aid, home education, and then the total cost of an adequate education. So that is basically how the state calculates the adequacy aid that they give us. Every year they have the same, or they come up with a different kind of relief, which is an additional amount of money that they give us. They vary in things and criteria. So for example, through COVID years, they created one to help us through COVID. Or they're just different. They vary every year or every other year. Then we have the total adequacy aid. And then we have the SWEP, which is the state education property tax, which is under the category of state aid, but it's really not state aid. It is calculated by the state, it goes through the town, but it comes to taxpayers. Tax is calculated in the taxpayers' portion. And what it is the state sets up an amount, which is here, right above that first line towards the middle. The state sets up an amount that they are to raise from taxpayers in the entire state, and then it disperses by town. And then at the bottom, you have by our towns, Atkinson, Danville, Plasto, and Sandown, how each town gets, what portion of the adequacy aid each town has, what portion of the SWEP each town has, and how much it has to be raised by each of the towns. So these are those two. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I know it's a lot of information. It's just like a toolkit to.
Certainly we'll have a what I call a question section at each meeting on the agenda, so, when you had a chance to look at this closer and think about things, it would be great if you could let Maria know you bring in a question or two to the budget committee meeting that you want to ask. And if you ask her by email so that she can maybe get what you need, so she doesn't have to run upstairs or whatever else she might have to do to get you the information so we can have a productive meeting, not get bogged down and waiting for an answer. There's a lot of information here. I like graphs and a lot, so.
And that's why I try to do both visual and the numbers, because some people are more visual than others. So I try my best to present both. Going to the next page, this was taken from the required report that we were required to present this year. The graphs look a little different of what was requested in the bill, because I think personally that this way to present the graph gives a better understanding of what was pretended to be presented. So in the bars, you see the actual expense. For actual expenses, cost per pupil, average teacher salary, and administrator salaries. And then the line, the red line up in the top, portrays the same expenses but adjusted for inflation. So what we can see in pretty much all of them is that inflation has really played a big role in our expenses. So if we start up the top with the actual expenses, you see when you follow the red line, we're almost at the same that we were back in 2016. So it's not that we're spending more. When you adjust everything for inflation, we are at the same point that we were 9 years ago.
What's the basis for the adjustment, inflation adjustment?
We do it with the Northeast CPI, which is what is required in the bill. And it's the CPI that we all use for this area.
Bob, did you have your hand up? No.
Yeah, well, like I said, the next one, if you see a cost per pupil, same thing, it's a little bit above $20,000. And we are a little higher than that now, but pretty steady for the lapse of 9 years, almost 10 years. The average teacher salary, as you can see, is actually lower than what it used to be back in 2016. Same thing for the administrators when you adjust them for inflation.
Let's keep going if we can.
Then the next page has all these graphs. Again, it's the same information. It shows you the total tax rate up top. Then the second one down shows the county tax rate and the municipal tax rate. The middle charts show you the educational tax rate, the state education tax rate, and then at the bottom is the total education tax rate. And on the right side, you have the valuation with utilities, the valuation without utilities for each of the towns, and then the ADM, which is the enrollment, the student enrollment for each of the towns, and for the 9 years.
Yes. Take over for a second. I need to use the facilities.
I think we got one more.
Then the last page, what we did with this one was we took an actual home in each of our towns, took the amount of taxes that specific home in one of our towns has paid throughout the years and adjusted to inflation. So again, these are real taxes that have been paid in each of our towns.
What's the data based on for this?
I'm sorry? What was the question?
This, what data are you using for this? And how
Like I
is it-
said, is one
how's it adjusted?
specific house in Atkinson, one specific house in Plasto. We went to the town records, look at how much the taxes were for those for that specific house, and then adjusted it to inflation. So this is an actual home in Atkinson, the taxes that they paid for that home since 2016 to 2025.
It's not really super relevant. Thanks.
Again, it's just information.
It was an actual home in each of those 4 towns, but a median home price in those towns, or how did you select those? It didn't matter, I guess.
You just select for.
You just looked at a home
For
in each town
different,
to
yeah.
see what happened.
Mhm. Just to display what has happened to the actual tax paid in a home when you adjust it for inflation.
Good timing. I think we just
Excellent.
got through the graphs and we're off onto the meeting calendar.
All right, meeting calendar. So we usually set up, work with the administration and set up meetings and when we want to see different department heads. I think There's a suggested one in the packet. It's on the very last page. The very back. So if you want to take a look at that, you want to speak to this, sir?
I'd like to introduce a couple of thoughts. The calendar you have in front of you is the traditional meeting calendar for the Budget Committee over the course of my tenure here. A couple of things I'd like for the Budget Committee to consider. Last year was the first experience that there was some substantive conversation with the board and the Budget Committee in a public meeting. That happened once last year. I think it would be incredibly advantageous to do that more often next year. I'd very much like this group to consider potentially 3 joint meetings over the course of the cycle. I think it would be important to get a meeting in early September, potentially a joint meeting in October and November, and a third and final joint meeting in December. I think it would increase the conversation. I think it would increase the partnership. And I think it's something that we should be able to look to do. I think it worked well last year and we should do more of it. The other things I want to point out to the schedule is that right now it's set up where individual principals and directors come and present small pieces of the budget. So if you look at September 10th, September 24th, October 8th, and October 22nd, all of those presentations over the course of that time will amount to about 25% of the budget. What I like to do this year is think about flipping this entire equation and doing personnel earlier. Now, there's a challenge to do that. The earlier we run the roster, the less accurate it is to the point of comparison. And we also don't get the health insurance rate until October. So what Maria and I have discussed, and I think it's potentially advantageous for us to do, is think about doing personnel earlier in the agenda and allowing us to map out what that potential cost would be at status quo at health insurance rates at different maxims. Maybe we give you an example what it would look like at 5%, 10%, and 15%, so that there's some idea about what 75% of that total budget number may get to. I think it would increase the discussion and conversation about the 25% of the budget. I'd also like to consider if we need to have everyone come and present. Is that how we want to start? Or do you want to see their proposed budget first? And if there's questions, for us to invite them here. But I really think we need to shift the conversation to people first and away from things first, a thought. Also, I'd really like to encourage members of this group to not only meet with Maria and I, but come to the schools and visit with our admin and our principals with us. I want you to be able to talk and set meetings with our directors so you can learn from the people doing the work what the work is like. I will set up and establish as many of those as possible. I think it's great learning for this group. And lastly, we're intending that the committee packets will go out on the Monday of the week of the meeting. It mirrors what we do with the school board. That provides ample notice for this group to read, digest, and ask questions in advance. So to Sue's point, we can bring the information to the business meeting and we're keeping up with what needs to get done. My request to this group is if you're sending Maria and I questions, I'd also like you to copy the chair and the vice chair so that they are in the loop on that. And then we're able to then provide back all that information at the next business meeting versus having to wait another month or 2 weeks to present out. So it's some thinking I've done about this will be my third full cycle with the budget committee, and I'm looking to potentially do some things differently this year.
So a couple of years ago was probably the first year you were with us. I tried to have Heather and Maria keep a chart of, okay, when all the principals gave their information, where are we at? And then the next week and the next week and the next week. And of course, it's small numbers until you get to personnel and then, whoa. So I think it might be a good idea for us to flip-flop a little bit or I like seeing the principals. I like meeting the technology, having you see the
There's good value
technology
in having
director,
them come, but
to
maybe
see the music
give them a
director.
week ahead.
Not all of us have kids in school at the moment. It is, I think it's a good obligation that they have to come and talk to us. We've had some great discussions through the years. But remember, that's a small piece it's the personnel that's the bigger piece. So what do you think? What does everybody?
I think it would be good to move the personnel up. Obviously, the sooner we can get numbers, always the better. Because it gives us more time to workshop, more time to discuss, more time to bring administrators back, ask questions. So if there's a way to do that, we should certainly do it.
What about the joint meetings with the school board?
Very beneficial.
If we do 3, maybe they won't be as long.
That was definitely,
On our minds?
But that's also when the real work got done,
It does get,
right?
yes.
Like, that evening is when the work got done.
The board would be open to doing more joint meetings.
Okay. Okay, good. So can I suggest that, I mean, here's a template of how we've done it. Can you allow Justin and Karen and I and Maria to discuss how we would change this around? And because you want all the information, I don't want you to miss anybody. I don't want just a summary of what's happening at the schools.
We'll make another recommendation to maybe change special ed and maintenance CIP before the other things, because that is a big chunk of the budget that.
They're each 8% of the budget, so in total there's 16. That's the same line of thinking that we're
Yeah.
having here.
but the question is, can they be ready for the beginning?
If
That's a big ask, because I don't think that they have a handle on it at the beginning of the
I
year
don't think
on
CIP.
September 10th. Sorry, I just don't.
Oh, that's great perspective.
I think to the personnel piece as well, and I think to Karen's point, it's not gonna give you, when we first present that to you, it's not gonna give you exactly what it's gonna be, because we don't know the health insurance piece yet. But we can at least set the curves of the road and get an idea of where we're gonna end up. And I think the same thing holds true for special education, and the same thing holds true for facilities.
I just think there's like 4 new members on the board as well. Like, that's a great way for them to get a little idea, even if it's not far until later on, you know.
But yeah, Sheila, it will be a big lift.
It's
You're right.
it's gonna be, and personnel's gonna be a big ask. So
Yeah, have personnel early.
I don't think, I'm being perfectly honest with you, I don't know how that's gonna work. But I do know one thing, I'm not gonna be here on December 21st. Not gonna happen. There is a big opening, you have a bunch of openings and discussions. We wrapped this up in 2 meetings, there were 6 of us here. So
I think the things I'm proposing the committee to think about will lead to a more effective and efficient meeting calendar that we're not to the 11th hour.
I don't think it's fair to this group to push it out to the 21st of December, I think that's insane. I think if we do our work, we can get it done by the 14th.
We didn't have that meeting this past
we
year.
didn't
We
because we
canceled
got it
it, we
done.
got it done.
Yeah,
So
you
I
had it
hope
on
that
the
we'll be able
15th.
to do
That was
that
your
again.
last meeting, yep. But that's, you know,
But again, the last 2 meetings, there were 6 of us here.
Yeah.
We pushed through a lot in 2 meetings
Yep.
to get a number.
Looking at the minutes, yes.
So
So-
perhaps, if there's an appetite for the content to look different, perhaps the group thinks about getting the dates set tonight. And then what happens on those dates, perhaps that's something the chair and the admin team can work on, and we can kind of reflect
If you
that back
can
out.
get special ed and personnel in here earlier, I think that would be advantageous.
Okay.
However, I also think it's a big ask. I just think it's too early in the year to be able to see what's
okay.
going on.
Let's see if we could erase all the little white boxes and keep the dates essentially the same. Would you think maybe on October 8th, that we might be able to hear personnel and slide those others down? I mean, it's more in the, instead of at the top of the schedule, maybe in the mid-schedule and put some other things underneath it afterwards? Follow
I
me?
want them to be able to deliver a budget that they know they can stand by
Mhm.
and not be losing their mind over to get it to us in a rush. I don't think that's fair to anybody. I just don't.
Justin,
I don't, yep.
do you think by August, your people will know if you can get the numbers by September?
Yeah, I know now we can get the numbers by September.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
If you
where
can
I'm
do
at-
I was gonna say, I would
thought
think
through
that
this, it
you would
is,
know.
it is March. If I have the direction that this is what we're gonna do, we will mobilize ourselves and be ready to deliver on it.
If you can do it, but
Well, now let's look at the dates, just those dates. Saying that that 21st of December, we absolutely don't wanna go that late, right?
No,
Right, so that date we're not too crazy about.
We left it
It's
on the
good to keep it
calendar
on.
last year
As
as
an
a
open date.
as a just in case.
If every, had a huge snowstorm, whatever.
one thing I was very happy with last year is that we did not have anybody come back not ready. Whoever was supposed to be here was here with their budgets.
Oh, yeah, they.
Nobody was,
No.
oh, they couldn't do it this week, they're
Floundering
gonna come the
around,
next
no.
time. That I appreciated,
I
Yeah.
appreciate you recognizing.
because when you set yourself up for looking at something
Right.
and it just gets pushed off, and that makes me insane. I'd rather they just move the date to begin with. Takes me a while to wrap my head around things, so if I'm coming in looking for something,
What's the driver starting on the 10th?
Huh?
What drive's starting on 9/10?
We need those to get everything in.
No, I mean, what prevents
Us from starting earlier,
a week earlier?
beginning of school,
school dates, opening dates,
Plus
the
the
week
board
ahead
meets
is
the week
school
before.
board meetings. We go on the opposite Thursday.
I think it's stated in the bylaws as well.
The Bible says April, September, and then from October through January, second meeting of the month. 2 meetings in the month of the
9/3 is probably school board.
school board.
yeah,
Board meets every first and third Thursday of the month.
and we meet the opposite.
And we, yep.
I also just want to point out to this group too, you could go ahead and set your calendar, but then anytime throughout you can always adjust. So just because you're setting the dates now, it's just getting a tentative schedule. At any point in time throughout your meetings, you can decide to change, move, add.
I think what I was saying, Katie, is that we got down to business and we did it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, the year
6 of us-
before, we came the day after Christmas. and
That's what I'm saying.
That wasn't fun.
No.
I to me, there's, you have all the information, let's just sit here until we can get it done.
Did someone bring up the point of letting Justin go back and keeping the dates and organizing his thoughts and coming back and presenting it with that? Cause I think it makes the most sense for someone that knows the answers to these questions, if they'll be ready to present the budget, to have him do that and just be able to look at it and agree or disagree. Thanks.
I think the dates are fine, and I agree with Sheila, I don't wanna be here the 21st or the 26th of December.
I don't think it shouldn't be necessary, because we have actually 3 open spots to discuss a budget.
Right.
And if you're
Right.
gonna put the school board in there, you still have 3 open spots to discuss a budget.
The 23rd, 12/10, and what's the third?
The top line above it,
11/12?
11/12, there is nobody coming in as of right now, but that doesn't mean somebody could get rescheduled.
So we have an opening that week, and then the 23rd, and then the 10th. And if we're trying to put more meetings with the board
We could actually move the school board up.
It's hard for me to visualize this without seeing actual personnel in here, as you mentioned, bringing that up, but I'm brand new here, I like the concept of spending more time and earlier time talking about the bigger ticket items.
Agreed, I agree.
Well, those big ticket, the salary and benefits and personnel, we need that for our information. Not, we can't mess around with contracts, it's not but you wanna know that number, what it's gonna look like, what are the health benefits, gonna be a 12%, 2%? That helps, because then you hear these numbers, which is really not so big, you'll notice it's small, and then the personnel is very big.
Could you possibly, the SAU budget and the school board budget and the budget committee budgets are
0.04%.
Yeah, tiny,
like,
5 minutes.
can we move those down,
Well, that's
Yep.
what,
So,
right?
So
So
just-
move those down and then maybe put the elementary schools first.
I'm
Then come in
hearing,
with technology and then come in with, because those are the big ones, it's technology, maintenance facilities, CIP, personnel.
let's let Justin kind of mess around with this. Let's give him a chance here. I mean, he can send this to us electronically.
Yeah.
I'll work with him. Katie?
I would set your dates, that way you have a framework. At any point in time, you can do that. I would let Justin and you two figure that out. But then also too, don't forget, just because people are presenting to you, that doesn't mean that once they're done presenting, you'll be like, all right, we're done with the meeting.
No.
You can
Right.
still collaborate and discuss, and that
Right.
might be the best time to say, hey, if we make a motion to cut this, what is that gonna look like for your
Right.
department? So don't get so tunnel vision that like, oh, all we can do is listen to the presentation. Like, you can discuss, deliberate, and take action.
Right.
So just don't forget that either, okay?
All right, so I'm gonna say, Justin, these are the dates, except the 21st of December, only if everything else fails. Try to work some board meetings in, at least 2. 3 would be wonderful, but if we can get 2, that'd be great. And see where you can put personnel in, where you think it'll slip in, so we can hear that as we deliberate on these other budgets. What do you think?
Yep.
Right, and send it, I got two thumbs up for Mr. Smith, so.
And then potentially what I'd like to do is to continue to work with you. We'll get that set and you can reflect that back to this group as at all you want. But my intent would be to have these boxes filled in and we know what's going to happen before the summer hits,
Yeah.
so that you know what the meeting and what's going to happen on those days. And you and I can get to that point about when you're getting feedback from these folks here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay? All right, if not, I'm gonna go on, any other business?
Any other business? I had
Oh,
a
Sheila,
question.
go ahead, hon.
Can somebody lead me to where all the financial documents went?
I was gonna
The
be mine as
website?
well.
The historical,
On our revamped, awesome website with an AI chatbot.
that
Did you
I
ask the
can't
chatbot?
find anything?
The chatbot can't find any financial
You know
stuff?
what I found? I found last month's, I found February of 26 financial documents. Can't find
So
anything else.
It appears that there was a clean break.
Yeah.
And we have stuff up there, financial reports by the month as of February. Everything else
It's gone.
is gone.
It's lost in the sky someplace?
And I think that the old website had a treasure trove of documents, monthly financial reports going back years.
Okay.
If we could ask Ken to
See what Ken can do?
find and reinstate that on the website.
Well,
that would
it's
be great.
not that they're gone. I just need to
Sure.
find out where they are.
Sure.
So I can direct you both to them.
Yes,
So
no,
let,
just in the spirit of
Yep.
having the data accessible to the
100%.
public, that would be great.
and I know that everyone here understands that it's still a work in progress, the website.
Yep.
We're going through feedback cycles. We're kind of in the beta process, but yes, that's good feedback. We will work and I'll reflect that back to the whole group in terms
Okay,
of where you
that'd be
can find
great.
those things.
I didn't even notice that those were gone. Okay, it's
I
fine.
just, I was looking for it this weekend, just to see, kind of get a feel for where we are. I usually go from this year to last year, just, I do comparisons. I couldn't find it anywhere. All I could find was last month.
Any other any other thoughts, questions? Don't forget, you can reach out to Maria, myself, Justin, Karen, school board chair, any help we can give you, we're happy to do.
One more question of the business.
Sure.
How many contracts are up next year?
I believe just 2.
Just 2? Okay, good.
The TAU will be possibly renegotiating, and then I believe the teachers, the TTA.
And the TTA?
TTA is up.
Okay.
And we have
And the
received
TTA was,
we've received their letter to begin negotiating.
Today,
So that's in process. Yeah.
the TTA,
Yes.
all right. And then TAU again.
Right.
Okay.
Hearing nothing else then, we will ask to adjourn at 8:29. Thank you very much.
So
Thank you.